and house rules apply, by the way. Hello and welcome back to the Popcorn for Dinner podcast. And welcome to the suspiciously energy-less London Stock Exchange. Guys, we are so fucking back.
Are we
It's
back?
Industry Season 3, Episode 1. Well, we are back, like we are back. Whether we are back from a larger sense, we'll discuss all of that. It's Industry Season 3, Episode 1. And joining me once more to return to the world of finance, drugs, and sex. Please don't tell him, but he's my ESG hire. It's Eyo. And Eyo, welcome back to the podcast. How are you doing?
I'm fine. It's nice to be here. It's been a while. It's been a while since
It
we've
has
done
been a
one.
while.
I think
It has
it's
been
been
a
a
while
year.
since 2 years.
No, I mean since industry, yes, but me and you
Well,
one-on-one. I think 2 years.
oh yeah, one-on-one.
Sorry,
Yeah,
yeah.
It's been. I mean, we did Oppenheimer, but even that was weird because it was a part of a two-parter that had TMT on it. So just solely you and I, it's probably been since industry.
Have you missed me?
Not really,
Okay.
but sorry, let's do that again.
No,
I
it's
just
okay.
realized we're meant to be pretending like we're close
He said the truth.
friendship for the podcast. Please ask me again.
N-word, we are close. I'm trying to keep it PG for my in case I share with anybody. Keep it PG.
I feel like I've already sworn and said sex on this intro already, so I
That's
feel like
fine.
that
I'm only
PG
gonna
is.
share with adults.
Oh, okay. Oh, so when you say PG, you mean white PG?
I wouldn't say that, but
Just kind of
I
what
would
you
mean
said.
that.
We have a lot to get into. We have a lot to get into.
We
So,
do.
um, we have so much to get into. So, quickly, guys. Obviously, last week, House of the Dragon finished its run. We covered that in our family. So, please check out those episodes if you watched the show. Or maybe you didn't know we're covering that. If you found yourself lost at points during this episode of Industry, then please go check out our season 3 preview, which we released last week. Maybe kind of refresh you on where we left these characters. We're going all in on Industry this season. We're going to have a series of pre-cap episodes, basically during the course of the season, in which rotating panel of house Popcorn for Dinner voices will kind of basically recap the previous episode and preview the next episode, answer some of your questions, react to online theories. We have short episodes, 20, 30 minutes. So yeah, that'll be coming out weekly as well. Please subscribe to our newsletter. The link is in the description, wherever you're watching or listening to this. This month's issue was industry themed, and we co-analyzed what Harper's hairstyles say about her character. It was dumb, but it was fun. Please rate and review wherever you listen, and if you are watching, please like and subscribe. Okay, let's go straight in. This is the season 3 premiere, written by co-creators Mickey Down and Conrad K, and directed by the returning Isabella Eckloff. I'm not going to attempt to speak the Italian title of this episode, but it's mentioned in this episode, and our very own Rosetta Yaz translated to "The morning has gold in its mouth." Ayo, what are your so what we're going to do? We're going to give our general thoughts, and then we'll probably just highlight some of the big changes that happen in this episode, because like a lot of changes from the season 2 finale, and then we'll probably go into a character by character breakdown. I want to have something fun to do at the end of the episode. Ayo, what are your general
We
thoughts on
have
this
time.
episode?
If we have time, we'll do the fun thing
If we have time, yes, if we
because
have
my
time.
first thought on this episode is dense, man. Has it been this dense?
I'm
Because
trying
it's
to
a
look
full
at my
hour,
notes now.
so like runtime fair. We've had an hour before, but
We
it's
haven't. Yeah, we have an hour before, but
dense.
we haven't had we had 50 minutes, 53 minutes. Those
Mm,
you feel those extra 7 minutes,
bruh.
but it's funny you said dense because literally my first notes as well is this is so dense, like word
That was
for
exactly
word.
what I said. Such a dense premiere. First line as well.
Let
Crazy.
me give you my reaction 6 minutes into the episode. I was like, this is a lot. I paused. I can't remember what I went to do. I came back. I was like, I'm so disoriented. I was like, this is so much. 6 minutes into the episode. And when you compare it with the relative ease with which season 2 started, this seems like a
Mm.
different show. Like season 2 basically holds your hand compared to what's going on here. Um, but what do you but what did you think about it?
Like good or bad?
Good or bad, liked it,
Oh,
big idea.
I think I loved it. I think I loved it. I've watched the episode twice. So I don't want to
Yeah.
be too superlative. You know what I said I was going to do this
That's what
season.
I was going to say. You're meant to be the
Every
one
time
keeping me
I
grounded.
know, I'm meant to keep you grounded, but every time I watch, and I didn't have time to do this, but every time I watch an episode of Industry, I have to go back to one of the greats to also like temper my expectations because
To know
I
where they could go that they're not there yet.
yeah, I really enjoyed this. So I think I'm gonna watch maybe an episode of Hannibal season 2 to ground me.
Is it
But
is it
yo,
Hannibal across the season, or like you'll be picking different shows across the season?
I think I'll be picking different shows across the season.
Okay. Let,
Different,
let, let me know as we go on. Let me know which one you watched.
yeah.
Um, I've watched this episode 2.5 times. I was planning on watching it 3 times, but I was like, that's a lot. Because I was like, you know what? Because normally what I do is I watch it once, no notes, nothing, and I watch second time with notes. But I was like, this is so dense. I think I need to watch it a second time without notes just to like fully immerse myself and then come back with notes. But I literally got halfway through on the second round and then I just had to go somewhere. So like, I'm just start again and watch the whole thing. Um, it feels very confident. Like,
It's
and I think
yeah,
what are you going to say?
it's extremely confident. I don't think like it feels confident. You remember in season 2 we were saying it's confident. Like they know what they're doing, but like nah, they're sure of themselves.
It's so funny because season two, we thought, oh, this is like they're not holding your hand, but now they are not holding your hand at all. So, like, Mickey, when we spoke with Mickey and Conrad last season,
Casual
Mickey
name
mentioned
drop.
how, yeah, I mean,
Who
yeah,
are they? Who are they,
Mickey
Bankole?
and Conrad, the creators of the show. I mean, for anyone who's new, I guess the people that could be new to this podcast, we spoke with creators Mickey and Conrad last season. But Mickey mentioned when we spoke to him last season about his preference for time jumps and how he likes putting characters in new positions. So I mean, it makes sense.
Hmm.
But like throughout the episode, I was just like, "Oh, you guys know the story you want to tell, and like you're not looking around for anyone to give you
Yeah.
permission. Like you're just gonna do it." I have some thoughts, but I'll save that to the end of the episode. I have some thoughts about just like some little niggles, but yeah, I thought this was. I hate saying this to you, but because it reminds me of the Flash, but I genuinely had heard like first-hand account. This is not like people
That's not
said.
the
I
Flash.
because obviously people that might know the Flash, the word around the town was
The
like, "Oh, the
movie.
Flash is
The
great."
movie, not the series.
Oh, the movie. Sorry, yeah. Tom Cruise was like greatest superhero movie ever made.
Banky hyped it up to us, man.
No, no. I told you what I was hearing on
Banky hyped it up.
podcasts.
Banky was like, "Oh my gosh, all my
Tom Cruise
industry
and
friends."
Tom Cruise and James Gunn hyped
Banky
it
said,
up,
"All
not
my
me.
all my Hollywood friends are saying
I
it's the
have
best,
never
man."
said that. I have never said that.
Banky said, "My
But
contacts in the industry are saying it's great."
that was what Tom Cruise would say. But what I would say is that I had someone who I really, really respect, and like our tastes are not aligned. You know, when like I don't think ask people like that. Like our tastes are not aligned so much that I respect them so much because I'm like, you don't like the things I like.
Yeah.
Like you're a lot more headier and
Oh, I
sophisticated
get
than
that with
I.
like music critics. Yeah.
Fair, and she's a filmmaker, and she had seen this first episode, or she had read the script of the first episode, and she was like, yeah. So I was already coming in with that kind of thinking, but I still didn't know what it was like. It could have been that it was so different from what the show previously was. That's why she liked it because again,
Mm.
artists are so different. But yeah, no, I just thought this was like. I mean, you know, let's go.
They
Let's use
are
that to
they
go
are
into.
galloping like they galloped straight out the gates in this one.
Let's use that to go into the differences, the changes, because I think we have
Okay.
to just highlight some special changes first before we then go into the actual episode. First of all, how much time do you think has passed?
I want to say 3 months in total.
No,
You think it's
just
more?
3 months. No, because first of all, no, I think it has to be more because
Actually, yeah, maybe half
um,
a year.
Sir Kit Harington says that him and Robert have been working on this for 6 months, so it has to be at least
Yeah,
6 months.
yeah.
So my thinking was that my yeah, my timeline is that basically this is the end of 2023 or beginning of 2024,
Where
which
did
will
we
make it
leave
like
off in season 2?
so I think we lived up in season two in the start of 2023,
Start of 23. Okay.
if my maths is correct,
Okay.
because basically season one ends in February 2021, and
Mm-hmm.
then we know there's like an 18-month gap. So I think season two starts fall 2022 and goes towards like early 2023.
Early
That's
20.
my thinking. Again, if I'll look out for anything that tells us we're wrong as the season goes on.
Because they were
Um,
30 years in season 2, and now
mhm.
they're associates. So
And what year does that tell you what year they're in? If associates,
I'm just guessing it's the year after the third
the
year.
year after, fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm thinking, and they weren't dressed like it was summer. I mean, obviously UK is like UK summer is 2 weeks, but you get what I mean.
Do you know I
So
was
I
actually
am
thinking about that? I was like, what time? But it's probably fall based on.
yeah. I think for I'm thinking I think the show might want to do a thing where we always start every fall. So it maybe I think maybe fall 2023.
Mm.
But we would see. Um, yeah. Okay. So let me just I'll run through a few of the things that have happened in this episode or changes, and then we can go from
Do you
there.
have
So
paper
Sweet Pea,
notes? You Luddite.
that was just for the timeline. I put the rest on my laptop. Sweet Pea is the new grad on the desk. That's her actual name. It's not just a nickname.
I had that question too.
She's credited as Sweet Pea, whatever her last name is. So I was like, okay, it's her actual name. She's one of those guys that does vlogs about her day working in Canary Wharf, which we've seen on social media the last 2 years. Is he up to
Yes,
2 years? Or is it less?
it was more than 2 years.
More than 2 years ago? Wow.
Yes.
Um, Beardless Kenny and Yaz are close friends, which was the first time I was like, oh, we've just jumped through like so much story, haven't we? Like Yaz and Kenny are friends now. Venetia is especially prickly to Yasmin.
I had that too.
Later in the
I
episode, she's
said,
like, "Since when did you care about boundaries?" It's like, what's the backstory here?
yeah. I was wondering
Uh,
if because like on my season two rewatch,
mhm.
when Yasmin was being mean to Venetia, I was like, okay, is it like the cycle of abuse continuing? And now Venetia's being mean, but I want to see her relationship to Sweet Pea.
Sweet Pea. She doesn't look like she's being mean to Sweet Pea. Yeah, she looks like she's
Yeah,
just being particularly mean to
to
Yasmin, which is
Yasmin,
quite
but
like
also
why. And
really
Yasmin even
funny.
looked confused. Robert is Pierpoint's emissary at Lumi, which is a green energy company they want to about to take public. Eric just makes partner, and then Eric and Kenny are like close friends, which we will talk about how that happened later in this episode. Those are kind of like the big things I pointed out. Harper, Yasmin, and Robert live together in the house
Yeah,
that Robert seems to have apparently bought.
I bought. Yeah, and
Um,
might be doing renovations and
yeah, because it's so funny because when this show starts and Yasmin is running through the house, first of all, I think it's not that long because she's holding the like phallic shaped object that they gave her at the FX test when she was leaving.
hmm
So I don't think it's been that long since I was having for like 6 months or 6 to 8 months. But like the house, you could see that the house was like tattered. So I was like, is she
yeah,
just living
they're
in like a
renovating.
poor house? But then it makes sense that like Rob is trying to like renovate the house. Yeah. And then like the her room and her area looks so much different from the kitchen, for example. The kitchen looks
Exactly
actually well
done.
done. So it's like,
Yeah.
okay, I know what this is. I want to say this before we go into the characters and the plot. So in the season 2 finale, there's an ADR back and forth that we pointed out on the recording. I still believe were Mickey and Conrad. And one character says, "What's the plan for the next 12 months?" And the other character replies, "We need to make Pierpoint the market leader in ethical investing." So I guess that's what leads us to where we are now.
Okay.
They
That
say
was a good
Eric has
catch.
yeah. I was like, oh, I just remembered that. Yeah, they said Eric has been leading the thing with his new European super desk. Also, I didn't realize that they move desks or they move the position of their desks every year.
Hmm.
Yeah, because I was like, why are they here now? I was like, oh no, it's season 2. It's from season 1. I was like, oh, they're
That's
actually just moving
true.
around the office. Okay, character by character breakdown. We're gonna start with. So, if you guys have seen the poster, my first thought was like, Yasmin is so interestingly placed. Like, is she gonna be the quote unquote main character for this
I had
season?
the same question.
And then this episode starts. This episode is all
Opens on
about
her.
Yasmin.
Yeah.
Yeah. Walk me through the first 5 minutes of this episode as you're watching Yasmin's story unfold. What?
My immediate reaction to the opening shot, which is this sweeping shot of the lady Yasmin,
Hmm.
the
The
yacht
yacht. Yeah.
or the
Hmm.
boat she's on. I don't know the difference.
I
I
think
don't
it's a
have
yacht. I
money.
don't know. We don't have that kind of money.
We don't have that kind of money, so I don't know. There are a lot of things that happen in this episode. I was like, I'm not rich enough to know what they're talking about or what they're doing.
Yeah.
And this is one of them. I don't know what kind of boat they're on. But um like she's on the side of the boat and there's a beautiful sweeping shot. But then
Hmm.
my initial thing is like, ah, is she sad? because she looked so disaffected. And I was like, ah, maybe
Mm-hmm.
I'm reading too. I was like, ugh, Ayo, turn off your brain, just watch. And then obviously, a few scenes later, she interacts with some people on the boat, and it's like, okay, I was
Mm-hmm.
right. She's not happy. Um, and then she walks in on her
Daddy
father
yes.
in a compromising position. Compromising position.
I would not have put off my head if I was him.
Why did he do it? 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 Also, I
My
didn't see
God,
his penis until my second watch because I was too stunned.
really?
Yeah, I didn't see it until the
Wow,
second time I
lucky
watched
you. Um, there's so many questions. The woman that he's sleeping with is pregnant. And like knowing his history, could that be his? Just so many questions that come up. Knowing who Daddy Yaz is. I'll tell you my own initial reaction. So when I see it and I see Lady Yasmin and I know that's Yasmin, I'm like, oh, okay. Have we just skipped over her reconciling with her dad, and she's
it.
back to partying?
Mm,
Then you see that she's quite disaffected. I'm like, oh, she's not really that happy. Then we see her because at that point I'm thinking the yacht is hers. Like she's kind of
oh
got,
no.
but then I'm like, why is not hers, but like as in she's the one in charge of the party essentially.
Okay. Okay, that's
So,
fair.
but I'm like, these people that are here clearly don't like her, or she doesn't like them. So why would she invite them? And then you see that her dad is there. I'm like, oh, okay, that makes sense. Um, and then we cut to 6 weeks later, and we are given the quick exposition that her dad was involved in some embezzlement. He ran away apparently from that yacht. Uh, yeah, now Yasmin has had to move in with Rob, and I think she's moved in quite recently. Again, obviously, I think in maybe like 3 4 weeks because she doesn't have any curtains. You
Mm.
can tell that she hasn't really like fully moved in. So yeah, um, and she's working on Eric's team because PWM didn't want her after her whole holier than thou act in season two. But she's on chopping block at work. Later in the episode, I'll just run through what happens with Yasmin's episode. Later in the
Yeah.
episode, she gets the attention of Sir Harry Mock, which is just an incredible name. Lets us know what they think about this character. Um, and she has also accrued quite a passionate gay following. Basically, she's going through it. Her father
So-
running away is it's yeah, she's not having a great time. What did you think of I guess Yasmin's story, development, everything that we kind of go through this episode?
Okay, so two things.
Uh-huh.
Marisabella is incredible. I mean, I
Uh-huh.
knew this, but wow. Enjoyed every second of her on screen. She brings like a tenderness to Yasmin at like some really unexpected points in this episode.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, ah, is this okay? Go off. I really like what they're doing with her. However, my main thing is she bad at her job? Is she bad at her job?
Uh, what give me cite your source. What scene?
So two things. The first one is um calling an Nigerian
Yeah,
and
that was
trying to
bad.
shift the stock.
Yeah.
It like even after the advice from Harper, like on unwarranted and unsolicited advice that Harper gives,
Mm-hmm.
but still it's still good advice. Like I thought she would have been able to, but she just seemed really poor in that
And
scene.
the way she's just like, I'll call you back. Doesn't
Yeah.
even lie. And just I'm
Yeah.
like, no, you can't like that. That's clear that you yeah, I thought that was bad, yes. But I also think her call with Mock and I can't remember the guy, the farmer guy, that
Yeah.
conference call, I think she's good there
I thought
because
she was
she's
good
doing
there.
the selling thing, isn't she? She's like,
James.
yeah.
Sidebar. Love him. Hope we get to see him again.
So much it what like the character introduction of like he's taking out eggs from his chicken coop is like it tells us all you need to know about this guy.
He's so good. It's so good.
All
And
you
then
need to know.
he says like he has to drive 3 hours to a part of London and he
So
struggled to escape. It's like, bro, where is he going? Where is he going? Because where's that? Where's that? It's not in Croydon. That's for sure.
no, it's probably you don't think he's like central,
It's
like
in
Canary
central
Wharf
London.
area
So
bank.
how
Yeah.
how hard did he have to try to escape that? That's so crazy.
But look at where he lives. He doesn't live in London.
I know, but still, it's like for him to say I worked so hard to escape from it.
Oh,
He's coming from the trenches. That's what rappers say. That's what
to to
that
talk
is
about
what
this,
athletes say.
talk with the CEO about the company I used to believe in.
Ugh.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So. Yasmin is going through a lot, and I like what you said about Marisabella giving out to tenderness because there is a lot of entitlement in Yasmin's demeanor and the way she speaks this episode.
Mm-hmm.
But either through the writing or Marisabella's performance, you kind of get you're like she's going through it. I get, and even like even when she apologizes to Robert on the phone, like
Mm,
she's like you can see that she's thought about it. That makes sense. Like it's just
mm-hmm.
a very good way to ground the character. My problem, and I've only seen one episode when I'm watching ahead. My problem so far, I don't like the fact that they made her dad be this thing. At least so far, because for me, it feels like we're giving her a pass from like her privileged blindness. It doesn't work. Like I wanted to see the repercussions of him cutting out and her realizing that she has been living on daddy's money for this. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
I kind of get you, and I think ordinarily I would have felt the same way, but I think it's in her character to not look at her privilege. Like I think there's been times where she's been brought to, hey, look, oh,
Mm-hmm.
like all these things are happening for you. Like you're
Mm-hmm,
not
mm-hmm.
really doing anything, and she's like, okay, whatever, and then moves on. Like I don't think this is the first time that this has happened.
No, no, it's not. But I thought at least wait season two was it felt like that was not final, but like, it felt like it was a big jolt. Like she had no money, she had nowhere to stay. She
Yeah.
was wearing
Okay.
the same
Okay.
clothes for 72 hours.
Okay.
Like
Interest. What did you think was going to happen following that? Like following the way season two
that's a
ended
good
with her?
question.
Because
That's a
I
good question.
immediately thought she's going to run back to her dad and patch it up.
I think maybe I thought she would end up there, but I wanted to see her arrive at that decision. Because whether it's like her saying, you know what, actually, I'm just a terrible person and I can't be this crusader that I thought I was, and I'm just going to go back because I want the money, or it's like, was an alternative to that. She just realizes that she just can't do it, essentially. Or if she's like, you know what, no, I'm actually going to become a better person and I'm not
Mm.
going to go for his money, which I didn't think was going to happen. But
I don't know, man. The way you say better person there, I don't know. Like, is she a bad person for enjoying her father's money?
no, she's not. She's not a bad person, but like she was a bad quote unquote bad person for enjoying the father's money, but also like being quite hypocritical about it.
Exactly. So, and this brings us back, I think, quite nicely to the beginning of the episode. Do you think she
Yeah,
sat on the boat because she's enjoying the spoils of
that's what I was gonna
someone
say.
that she
So
doesn't like?
I'm sure the show, maybe the show will find a way to get back there, but I want to know why she's sad on the boat. Like, does she feel like she's betrayed herself by going back to her father? Does she feel like she's betrayed these ideals that she thinks she has? So I want to know why she's sad on the boat. Is she just realized that I can't actually survive without his black card? But I feel like now that they've painted him as the full villain and she is going through this thing in a way that we all feel sorry for her because
Hmm.
like the press is harassing her, like you can tell that she's literally hanging on by a thread. I feel like maybe she loses any form of accountability for those actions and for her running back to him. And now we just have to feel sorry for her. I don't know. Again, we've only seen one episode. We don't know what's going to happen across the rest of the episodes. But I feel like I don't know. I feel like every character, even Harper, for example, we'll get to Harper, but like even her working at Future Dawn now is a bit of accountability for her actions in season two. She'll probably find a way
Mm,
to get back, right? But like
mm.
this is at least her penance.
Rubbish
And this
pen.
doesn't seem like penance for her for Yas, but this just seems unfair because her father was the one that it's like, do you get what I'm trying to say?
I get you. I get you. It's
Like think
interesting,
about
but
the
I
good
don't.
fights, right? The good fight starts with Rose Leslie's dad doing something similar, right?
Hmm.
But then we feel immediately bad for her because she seems like a decent person, and this shouldn't have
Hmm.
happened to her. And I don't know if I had like this shouldn't happen to Yasmin either because it's unfair. But like it's just I wanted a few minutes to be like Yasmin, you bitch, like you deserve this. But I can't say that about what's happening right now because this is
Yeah, because she
really
doesn't
too
deserve
bad.
this.
She doesn't deserve this at
She
all.
doesn't deserve
So that's what I'm trying
this.
to say. But
Okay,
again, yeah,
I get you. I get you. It doesn't feel like she's paid for any.
yeah,
But
yeah.
I guess the counterpoint to that is like, what has she done that is? I mean, and it's kind of like what Sweet Pea says. What has she done in the past apart
We're
from
enjoying the
treating
life.
people badly?
Yeah, but I mean, if you remember, we're going to wrap up with Yasmin here because there's a lot to go through. But if you remember at the end of season two, we're talking about how she was, I can't remember what you said, she said she was impulsive and dumb or something, but like she just like her father reads her order, she's like, I want nothing else to do with you.
Mm.
Or like Celeste is like, we need to represent this kind of men. And she's like, well, I'm going to leave. I'm like, okay, what are the repercussions of that? She can't just be blindly,
I mean, she's on
is
chopping
he,
block in her job now. That's the repercussion.
yeah, but
They
again,
identified her as a
that gets
great
resolved very quickly.
temple hire. So,
But yeah, look, I mean, this is not me saying I don't hate it. It's just like I was like, oh, okay, I wish maybe I'd have preferred that. But again,
okay,
these
I
guys are
get
smarter
you.
than me. We'll probably see what goes on next. Anything on Yasmin before we move on to Eric?
Also, what was your favorite line of hers this episode?
Oh gosh, probably the gay one because that's what jumps to my head right now. I can't think of
No,
something
mine
else.
is when she's doing coke with Eric and she says, "Nah, I'm lying. This is what I'm good at."
This is what
After
I'm
she
good
says,
at.
"Oh, I'm not that kind of girl."
That is probably my best scene of the episode, and we're going to talk on that.
Yes, yes.
Um, so speaking of that, let's talk about Eric. Or should I call him by his birth name? Eyo, what the fuck?
Do you know how many times I had to pause that and rewind it and pause it and
I
rewind
was
it because I didn't understand it?
I was like,
I was
is
like,
it
are they putting their locations? Okay, because
bro? I was
he
like, where he's
is,
from,
he is
and then
American,
it
but
was only on
no,
second watch that I realized because then I was like, oh, maybe that's his name, but he just chose Eric as a random like white person name. And then I was like, oh no, Eric is from America. I was like,
so
oh my.
good. It's so good.
So for anyone who missed this, Eric's birth name is Alvin America Tao, which is just, I'm just, I like, when they came up with this idea in the writer's room, so it was
It's a
like,
good, it's such a good detail. It's such a good detail.
because it says so many, I think it says so many, it says something about his parents,
Mm-hmm.
like the immigrant's parents that will literally name him America. Like his name is Alvin America. There is no like Chinese name in there. And it's about him that his job is to change that from America to Eric. Not Al, not Al. It's a stupid joke, but means so much for this character. And you're just like, oh, okay, this is the guy that can be friends with someone who calls him all kinds of slurs and has the Make America Great hat or whatever. Yeah, such a very good detail. Anyway, okay, so Eric, after making partner, there's pressure on him to quote unquote show his teeth
Mm-hmm.
and fire someone from the team, preferably Yasmin, because of all the PR stress she's going through. After his wife left him, he apparently went on a bit of a bender, and Kenny was there for him, much to Eric's annoyance. And then, while on a date, Eric sees Yasmin and her lawyer friend, which leads to a wholesome body bonding session. I'm joking. This is industry. Nothing about this show is wholesome.
I mean,
Um,
I mean, it
wholesome
was
by their
kind of wholesome.
standards.
It was kind of wholesome.
So let's talk about
It's
that scene. Oh, let's. Is there any way you want to talk about before that scene? You want to talk about his meeting earlier,
the Chatham House rules.
the boardroom scene? Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
crazy. Who is that man?
probably just a board member.
Crazy.
I have thoughts about him later. Later. So let's go to the Coke scene. I have watched a lot of Coke scenes on TV and
Mm-hmm.
film.
Mm-hmm.
No
And you're
scene
like,
has ever made me intrigued about doing it as much as this scene.
really?
Yes.
That's so funny.
I don't know. I don't know if it's like maybe how free and loose they were. The fact that like two people that are so far apart and Eric and Yasmin were able to like connect.
So you want to do coke because it will increase your intimacy with other human beings?
You say that like it's a bad thing, but
Just
like
do Molly, bro. There's no need to
your
do.
tone, no, but like, I mean, are you speaking from experience? I don't.
Who knows? Who knows?
If there's a Molly scene that does the same thing, maybe I'll consider it. But no, as in, like you said that your tone makes it sound bad, but like your words make it sound good. Yes, I want to do cook too, because it increases my intimacy with other people. Yes, like, but like it's the way like we see how far apart they are at the beginning of the episode thing, but like this session brings them so close in a way that like it actually even persists to when they're sober. Following what Yasmin said of remember this when you're sober, like they're able to be
Mhm.
so honest with each other. I was like, this is that. I was
So
like, I've
even
not.
before that scene, so when Eric makes partner and then Kenny congratulates him and then Yasmin
Mm-hmm.
goes up to congratulate him and he's really cold with her.
Mm-hmm.
I was just thinking, how long did it take Eric to be genuine and not warm, but just genuine with Harper in season one?
Uh, 3 episodes maybe.
Because in this one, I feel like he gives her a genuine pep talk after the call.
When he's that's true,
I feel
that's
like that
true.
was genuine when he goes up and
Yeah.
says, "Oh, hey, like this business was built on a
Oh,
hill
that's
of
such a great
such a
line.
good line,
Such a great line.
built on a hill of dead yellow birds." I was like, Eric, that's that's downright fatherly of you.
And he
So
had no reason to do that. 'Cause at that point, he thought he was going to fire her.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know if he's becoming more open in his partnership. Like
No,
as
but he is though, which I think is what makes him annoyed.
yeah,
Like I think his experience have made him. I don't want to use better because that seems arbitrary. More open, kinder,
yeah. 'Cause I think
whatever.
yeah, the breakdown of his marriage, if it's real,
No, no, it's true. His wife is punishing him by leaving by leaving his
it's the
kids.
same man. But
Great life from Sweet Pea.
honestly, the first time that she saw him on the date, I was like, okay, Eric, I don't know if I believe you.
Oh, fair. Yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, the episodes makes it clear that yeah, this is a real thing that has happened. Okay, so they get to her lawyer friend's apartment. Actually, she says my chambers are around the corner, and I have a
And I have
key.
the key.
And I at first I thought it was she meant the actual key to her house, and I was like, that's dumb. Of course you have the key. And then I was like, oh no, she's talking about cook. Anyways, so they get into the apartment, and
Mm-hmm.
Eric goads Yasmin into doing a line with
Mm-hmm.
him after he delivers the incredible "I haven't done blows since 9/11,"
9/11. Mm-hmm.
which is up there as maybe my favorite line of the episode of the whole
Because
episode.
mine is like, what about 9/11 made you
Yeah,
stop doing it?
yeah, yeah. Yeah. What was going on? What happened? What happened?
um, yeah, yeah, so, yeah. Because we continue.
And then they have this really intense eyeball to eyeball conversation cooked up
Mm-hmm.
on her lawyer friend's couch, where um Yasmin is quite direct in a way that I've
Mm-hmm.
seen in real life, and I think is actually a thing that happens with younger people. We're just like, "Are
On
you gonna
cocaine.
fire me?" No, no,
Oh,
none
or
of
just in general.
yeah. She's just like, "Are you gonna fire me?" It's on my mind. I was like, "Okay, fair enough."
Mm-hmm. And he replies, and he's very honest, and he says two things about Harper in that scene that I thought were very telling.
So telling.
Like, first of all, he tells her not to be anything like Harper,
Hmm.
and then later he's like, he doesn't think she's a good person.
Which I do you remember when we spoke about this in the finale?
Yeah.
And I was thinking, oh, is he firing her to protect her? No, he actually is scared of her. He thinks that she's a bad person
No, but isn't that also like, I'm firing you because it's just gonna get worse for you? Because he says like he's surprised that she got a job in the same
in the
industry.
industry. Yeah.
So I think part of it was also I still think it's like partly I want to save you from yourself.
Protect you
And
from
also I
yourself.
want to save myself from you because I don't know if you could stab me in the back again. But I
Yeah.
still think it was like, I need to protect you from yourself. That's because like I don't think she's a good person. And I don't think she's gonna change. But hopefully she doesn't get worse.
Mm,
Um but yeah, him saying that while high on coke, I was like, oh, okay, this might be these are his real feelings, not even might be. These are his real feelings.
mm.
Um, did
He
you
also
think Eric
speaks a
was
bit about Kenny when he talks about Kenny
yes,
taking him in, and he says, "Ah, I shouldn't have let him see that side of me."
yes.
Also very telling. And then
And I
I
think is allowing Kenny in that maybe help soften him up. Because even let's rewind a bit to the board meeting.
mhm.
When he pushes back on the board member, do you find that genuine or not? When the guys like we're just basically his cavalcade of slurs. Um when Eric pushes back on that and is like, excuse me or whatever, I'll take your cynicism away. Do you find that genuine from Eric or is he just trying to get the job done?
I think he doesn't do this ESR thing or this green investment thing unless he believes in it.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So it's all part of the thing. Like it's like he's I keep going back to this, but I don't want to use it. It's not better, but he's like more open person, I guess, more wholesome person.
A little bit more
Because if,
wholesome.
even when he's firing Kenny, you can see we clearly see how much it's gets is hurting him to do
We've
it.
skipped a few scenes. Let's get there first.
Yeah,
Okay, so
I'm
first
sorry.
of all, I really, really enjoyed when Yasmin's lawyer friend sucks the ring off his finger and spits it out. And he's like, okay. And then they both look at Yasmin, and I'm like, yo, are they about to threesome it up?
I
And
was gonna
then
ask you that.
I crossed my mind. I was like, yo, Yasmin, run. And then he delivers probably my favorite line delivery in this episode, which is, can you go?
Oh
Incredible acting. I think the acting in that scene is so good.
yeah, I love even like his body movements when he's high on cocaine. You can tell it's a
The
different
little
Eric.
dance.
Um Yasmin too at a point thinks he's gonna she's thinking like, what
She's
am I
like,
gonna do?
yo,
Do I have to do this to keep my job? Like, so like I think when he says Kiyiko, she's so
she's
happy. So
relieved.
the person more relieved than her was me because I was like, oh God,
Same,
thank God.
same.
I was like, I do not need that to happen right now. It's like Eric, our woke king. He was like, no, I only do people that are close to my age and don't work for me. Or at least closer to my age. Um, yeah. So I mean, that was my best scene of the episode. That whole cocaine scene.
Fair.
It was, I think
And
from
then
the I
after
saw
that,
only
he
the
goes,
first trailer, and the
oh,
first trailer kind of implied that Eric had a mentorship role over both Yasmin and Robert. But I think those scenes were just from this first episode, so maybe it doesn't continue across the season.
interesting.
But yeah, interesting to see him take up both roles of them. Anyway, he fires Kenny. Anything before that? But he fires Kenny.
He does fire Kenny. He
He does
does
fire
have the
Kenny.
conversation with Robert beforehand where he's
No,
saying,
does
yes, it's before.
oh yeah, he does. He does.
It's
Yeah, he
before
does.
the
He wants to fire
firing.
Robert at first. Let's keep the Robert one for when we're talking about Robert.
Oh, you think he wanted to fire Robert first?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because he's
Ah,
like,
okay.
Robert, I need to speak to you.
Yeah.
And earlier she was like, I need to fire two
After
people.
today, yeah.
Robert, she was like, I need to fire one associate. And she was like, Robert is indispensable. He was like, she's indispensable for now. So I think he
Yeah.
wanted to fire Robert.
Interesting.
And
Do you
then
think
again, back to him being more wholesome. I think him seeing Robert break down
broken down?
changed
I
his
see.
opinion.
Interesting. In that scene where he's shouting at Robert and telling Robert to not be a pussy,
Yeah.
essentially. I mean, I think he says those words. Do you
Yeah.
think he was
So
talking to
stop. When are you going to
himself?
stop being a pussy?
Because I feel
It's
like he was.
You're right. I did not think about it, but yeah, you're
I
right.
feel
I
like he
think
was, which is why I didn't think he was trying to fire Robert. I think he wanted to hype himself up or
no,
pump
no,
him.
no. I don't think when he
Kenny.
took Robert to talk to him, he was going to fire him.
Okay, okay.
He says, Robert, I need to speak to you before Robert starts
Before he
crying.
starts crying. Okay,
And I think when now he says off the floor. So I
okay.
think when he saw Robert walk in, he was like, okay, I'm going to fire him. But then Robert starts breaking down. And then he's like, oh, okay, off the
Mm.
floor. And then he does I guess you're right, it's a pep talk both to Robert and to himself
I
because
think
he
it's for
says, I'm
both
a
of
man
them.
and I am
Yeah.
relentless. Yeah, you're right.
And I'm relentless.
Um, and then he gets his famous baseball bat back from his daughters.
Incredible. Incredible. Yo, this show is running. They're running.
Oh my
They're
God.
running.
Like you just said, like she's trying to punish me with your daughters. Yes.
Yes, he meant it.
You did. Yes.
She
Like
knows what she's doing.
a normal show will end the joke at with your daughters, but he was like, no, 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 yes, yes, he's trying to punish me with my daughters. Okay. Yeah, so he fires Kenny. We kind of see that stressful. I was quite intrigued that Kenny's wife calls him during that firing, but we don't
Mm-hmm.
and he said it was
But
an
we don't
emergency, but we
hear.
never really know what it is.
Yeah.
Because me, like, if I was Kenny, I would have definitely used that to get my job back. But
Do you think Kenny's gonna go back on the drink?
damn.
I
Do you think
think
we
he
see
does.
Kenny again this season?
I don't know. I hope so. I think we will.
Yeah. Um I didn't even notice Eric, which again makes sense with the divorce. I didn't notice his hair was black
Yeah.
until
Until
I saw the dye.
yeah, same.
And I saw the dye. I saw the dye before Kenny pointed it out. I thought they were
Oh,
just gonna leave it as like a
a visual
an Easter
indicator.
egg or a visual for us. But yeah, then Kenny pointed it out. I was like, I forgot that he was like grey in seasons 1 and 2. But I guess yeah, he's
DVD
dating now,
calls it
so
out in season 2.
yeah, that looks like George Clooney. It's like
Yeah.
George Clooney looks like me. Okay. Anything about Eric want to touch on before we go on?
Let's do Robert, and then we'll come back to your point around mentoring both Yasmin and Robert.
Okay, okay.
Because
So yeah, Robert.
yeah,
Quick run through about Robert. Robert is dating Vinicia, which is meant to be wholesome, but again, because it's this show, he's still sleeping with Nicole on the side.
bruh. Do you know my first notes for Robert?
What?
I don't know how much longer I can deal with this guy's mommy issues.
The show was like, don't worry, not for too long more.
Not much longer, it seems. Not much longer. I
So
said this guy is living like an Abuja boy. House issues, sugar mommy, emotional turmoil.
Jesus Christ. Um,
He's an Abuja
yeah.
baby.
So I mean, I will not. I'm not going to wade into that discussion. So in my head, I'm thinking this is so terrible because of what she did to Vinicia. Like, what's going to happen when when Vinicia finds out, and then Nicole just they just wake up the next morning and Nicole is gone. And I think
What
I
was your
genuinely
reaction?
screamed out loud.
I
I screamed
screamed.
out
I
loud.
screamed too. I said, "Oh
I
shit!"
screamed out loud. I was like, "What?"
It's a genuine oh shit moment, which we don't usually get in the premiere. Honestly,
Yeah. So I don't think we get. I mean, I guess the first premiere, Harry,
that's fair. Damn,
which
it's
leads
a
me to a
trick.
later point. but so let me give you a backstory in my mindset. The scene right before this is the coke scene, and that coke scene. While I'm focused on Eric and Yasmin, and I'm so engrossed in them, and they're making me consider whether I want to do coke. Her friend is in the background, just like doing
Going through
stuff,
it. She's going through it.
and I was so scared. There's a time that she just to do a handstand.
She does, yeah.
I was like, is she going to break her neck? Like, is that going to be this guy's plot line? Will this guy have to cover up his body? Like, I was so scared. So when that scene ends the way it ends, I'm like, okay, calm, no death. And it literally cuts to Robert and Nicole is dead. So I'd calmed down, and then I'm like, it's like, why are you guys doing this to me? The
Did you
person I
think
thought
he
was
was
going
going
to
to hide her body and run away?
I'm so happy he didn't. I thought he was going to run away, maybe not hide, just run away. But then that does. I'm so happy. I'm so happy.
It's a different
I'm,
show, isn't it?
yes, I'm so happy one the character didn't do that. I'm so happy the show didn't do that because it's
Mhm.
just we don't need that right in the show. We don't need that kind of plot line. Um, but yeah, before we talk about death thing, let's talk about the conversation they have. Robert says to Nicole while they're lying down in their matching pajamas, I think.
No, they're not matching, but he
Or,
definitely has his pajamas in her house.
I should have not matching.
I don't think so. Are they matching?
I thought they're not matching or he's wearing the robe of her pajamas. I feel like it
Okay.
was very closely thinking. Um, so he says, I don't need this. The tough CEO to say well done to me.
Mhm.
And she replies, yeah, you do.
Yeah, you do.
That's all you've ever wanted. Validation of your betters and functioning codependence with someone that's as fucked up as you are. A lot right there. Um, she's not
But
wrong.
nothing new. Yeah, yeah,
Exactly, she's not wrong.
yeah,
Um, but then importantly, Henry says to him, good job at the end of the episode.
yeah.
Henry shakes his hand and says, good job. And then you kind of
Sir
see
Henry.
this Sir Henry mock. And you kind of see like this smirk
Mm-hmm.
raised on Robert's face. Um, but yeah, I do think him and Nicole were they had got to a point where they were a genuine couple, relationship, feelings, whatever. Like it was not sex focused. That's way to put it.
Yeah, but I don't think it was genuine, but I don't think it was healthy.
Oh no, I never said it was healthy.
Yeah. Like, okay, they had real feelings for each other, but those feelings were fueled by nothing, like not good things. They don't come from a good place. He desires her because he has mommy issues.
Yeah,
Facts.
and if she satisfied those issues, that is that a problem? If nobody's being cheated on,
It's not from a good place now. It's not from a good
I
place.
was like, sometimes you can't. What can you do?
Yeah, you can do a lot. You can do a lot, Banky. Luckily, don't kill me. Do you?
Do I want?
Do you?
I mean, the biggest problem for me is that he's cheating on Venetia. Ah,
Interesting.
like I get it, but like it's not because
I
I
think.
don't.
Okay, go
It's
ahead.
not toxic. I think it was toxic in season two.
Yeah.
it did. Listen, this one episode, it didn't seem
It didn't
toxic
feel
anymore.
toxic. This was fair, but it
Yes,
is. I don't know. There was enough. There were enough. There were enough. What's it called? There were enough clues that it's still a little
yeah,
toxic.
but emotionally unhealthy people still deserve to be to get to find love.
Yeah, and Venetia is there. You should find love there,
But that would never work out for
and
anybody
not this
because
is
that would just hurt Venetia more.
this bully that has been bullying him since. I don't think she.
But she's not bullying him anymore. What they call it? Isn't there
How do
something
you
like
know? I don't know if you know
bully to
that.
lovers trope?
There's no bully to lovers arc. I feel like she even bullied him in this episode when she was like, "Yeah, I don't need this." And he was like, "Yeah, you fucking do. You are my bitch."
She didn't say that. She was
Yeah.
just telling him what he really wants to know about
Okay,
himself.
fine. No, you
Okay,
are my bitch, but you are a bitch.
so Robert, yeah, I was so sad for this boy
Hey,
when he
acting,
goes back to the office.
acting.
I think so. You said Marissa. I think Harry Lottie is my standout for this episode.
Fair.
This scene, I was so sad that he didn't tell them why he was crying.
Hey,
Because I was like, I need you
I
to
lost
say
the
this. When
client.
people, I was like, that is way more pathetic than the truth. Just, I need you to just say, let them know why you're. Because this, I felt so bad for him. Like I was, oh god, it even the way like you can see the way Harry Lottie like changes his posture. He's like a lot more slouched. His neck is basically
Yeah,
dangling.
yeah.
He's and Robert has been through a lot.
Too
His
much.
mom, Clement, he found Harry, which I forgot until I rewatched
Oh,
season one.
wow. I actually
So
forgot
he
that.
and now Nicole. That's like four. He he found Harry the premiere, which I don't think is a coincidence. I think that definitely influenced a lot of his actions. Like
Mm.
he's the one that found this dead body. His mom obviously passed away. Clement passed away on him. Now Nicole. So like that's too much for an addict in his 20s, man. It's
Do
way
you
too
think
much
he's
for him.
cursed?
He thinks so. Um, I don't know. I really felt so bad for her, for Robert this episode. That sequence was just a lot.
It was
Um,
harrowing.
we don't talk about the pep talk, although the mentorship, I guess.
Yeah,
Um,
so DVD says this thing in season 2 about Eric liking youth until how did he put it?
I know. I think I remember, but basically, like until they are ready to usurp him to
To
take over.
usurp
That was
him, and
basically the
then
the
yeah,
concept.
and I think that plays a role in him getting rid of Kenny because he's just like, I can't mold this one. This one knows who he is. Go.
I saw it in a different way.
Okay,
I saw it as Kenny's the one person that sees him
that's also true.
as
I mean,
most plainly and also has seen him at his weakest and he's like, I need to get rid of you if I'm gonna be as strong as I need to be.
I'm gonna be a
Also,
man.
like
I'm gonna be
Kenny
relentless.
Kenny says it's empathy, but it's really judgment. Kenny always paints his empathy as judgment. He's such an
He's a
annoying
judgmental
person.
guy. He's
He's
not
so
a good guy.
annoying.
He's not a good guy. He's not a good guy.
So like I can understand Eric just be like, no, I am tired of this. I am tired of you. I am firing you. So that to me that I think it was more of like this is the person that like you know how when people characters get rid of the person that can tell them what you're doing is wrong
Mm.
because that person knows them. I mean, we're watching House of the Dragon. Like this guy, anyone literally fired Alicent because it's just like I need to have control over this board. I don't need somebody else back talking me essentially. Um,
That I can't just kill.
so I, I just need to climb on Vega and burn people. Yeah, so to me that was why he killed Thingy. But yeah, I think it'd be interesting if he wants to take both Yasmin and I mean, just from the trailer, we know Yasmin's going to have a deeper connection with Sir Henry Mock as the season goes on.
Hmm?
Yeah, it's interesting to see if he decides to take both Robert and Yasmin because it's funny again. He tells Yasmin, "It's like I had a was it pit bull or what did he say?"
I forget.
But
Destroyer?
basically,
Monster?
yeah, basically referencing Harper,
Wrecking Ball.
wrecking ball, and then
Because it
later he's
made
like, "You
me
don't have to,"
remember Miley Cyrus.
and then when he's on coke, he's like, "You don't have to be anything like
Yeah.
that." So, um, yeah, I'm trying to see where they're gonna go with that. Should we talk about Harper? Anything else?
I mean, yeah, let's get to Harper. New
Yeah.
season, new haircut.
So again, I can reference at the beginning of we did a newsletter where we kind of discussed Harper's psychology for every haircut. Priscilla, who by the way is a certified psychologist, English and language practices. Well, we had this idea that basically this is Harper shedding a lot of like her baggage, right? It's like
Mm.
she's gone for the low cut, she's cleared everything off, she's starting off new in a new company,
Approach.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, starting fresh. She's basically not even working in finance.
No,
She's a glorified PA.
she's not
Uh,
glorified. I feel
she's
like
a PA.
she's just a PA.
Yeah, so it's like, yeah, it's Harper. She's clearly, very clearly unfulfilled. That's
Hmm.
not
Extremely
um
distracted.
extremely distracted. She's talking about boyfriend.
Extremely distracted. White boy of
So
the month.
let me so but she's back to fucking white men
Yeah.
after her season of BAME men. Season two was just black and ethnic minority.
Yeah.
And then now she's back to the whites. Who I love the way they've chosen to depict this guy. Because the first thing we know about him is that he has a movie account and he wants to watch Decision to Live, which is the Park Chan Wook film from 2022, I think. So you're like, okay, this is like, so as Mickey and Conrad are obviously cinephiles, you're like, okay, that's an interesting way to paint this guy. But then, like, what does he say when she sends him the pictures? Like, cool, am I canceling my movie or not?
Yeah.
It's like, guys, he's just talk about not being focused, and then obviously when we see him for the first time, he's just a terrible person. Like everybody hates him.
Everybody.
Harper hates him, but she just can't be asked. Um, when he's like a sobering glass of water for you, Harper Lee, and then he's basically insulting them for working in the bank. And yeah, it was like the fact that he was wearing like the North Face windbreaker. I was like, I know who this guy is actually.
Yeah.
I know who this
You've
guy
seen
is.
him.
Yeah, I've seen
We've
him.
seen him. We've seen him on the streets.
I've seen him at parties probably, but just like
Yeah, we've
a
had a
friend of a friend.
conversation. Yeah.
Yeah. Um,
Spat in his drink.
yeah. So she is working at Future Done for Anna
Yep.
Gehring, who we remember from season two. Apparently Yasmin helped her get that job. But she's clearly unfulfilled. And then we see Sarah Goldberg. I should have written down her name, but Sarah Goldberg from
Yep.
Barry. Yes, that's. Do you remember the last name?
No, but
But
it's
yeah,
good.
so they have a conversation. Now, it's interesting that Harper basically says what that man in the board said.
Exactly. Do you think that's going to be the theme of this season?
I think if anyone's good at their job, it's Harper.
Hmm.
And I don't think the show ever makes Harper like she's wrong, but like when she says things like this, they're usually correct. Does that make
Hmm.
sense? Like
Hmm.
she's good at her job. So I think it might be that the show's belief is that ESG is a fad.
That's what I was
So
thinking.
even though that man said it in very crude terms, the show might agree with him if Harper is repeating it again, but I guess in a more acceptable way. So I
Eh,
mean, yeah,
God, everybody that believe in morons.
yeah, but better than saying they're only doing it for woke points or whatever.
He said woke investing, man.
Said, what do you say? They're
Amon's in the
the
UK
black lesbian CEO, and
with
you hope
one
that she
leg.
has one leg.
Yeah,
Damn, man. But yeah, what did you make of the lights never coming on for Harper?
is racism. It is.
Fair, that's better than whatever I was going to say.
It's just
Um,
straight up. When they did their testing, they didn't have any black people, so the light bouncing off wasn't the same. It's just racism.
I mean, fair. That's like I will go with that.
Have you seen
My
any of
own.
those videos where, like, oh, the white man puts his hand under the dryer and it comes on, and then the Negro puts his hand under it and it doesn't come
But
on?
like, why are our hands not registered by the dryer?
I don't know.
That's
Racism.
so God racism, man. Okay, my more literature student reading was basically just, which I guess honestly both can be true. Was basically just showing how invisible she feels, and she is in
Mm,
this world, right? Like,
this is a filmmaker. Yeah, a
and
filmmaker. Right
what are you? You're a
along.
tech. You're a
Tech
tech guy.
bro. Tech bro.
You're going down for the
No,
coding reason.
obviously. I was like, obviously. It's broken. They didn't test it well. And Banky's like, nah, they're
um,
trying to show us something.
no, but maybe both. Right? I think it's both. But no, I think it was like saying that like she feels invisible in this world. She feels like She can't make anything happen. She's so unfulfilled. It's
Can't make
ridiculous.
anything
Like
happen. Fair enough.
so yeah, that was just my understanding of the whole lights thing.
Very
But race
little
is a
happened this episode.
very interesting. The reason we're talking about her last.
Yeah,
I don't think that's a
interesting.
coincidence. Um, okay. Do you want to talk about Sir Henry Mock? Anything maybe we haven't mentioned?
What game was he playing when he calls
I don't
Yasmin?
know. I don't
That's
know.
another point. I was like, I'm not rich enough. I can't.
Nothing.
I can't understand it because I'm not rich enough. It looked
I,
fun
it was like squash, but with your
with your
hands.
hands, and you had a little glove thing. It looked
It's
fun.
like
I want to play it.
it's in the what do you call it? It's in the basement of a club. Like we're not in those worlds. That's
I want to
fine.
play it. I need to be there. I need to be there.
We're not in those worlds. I love how everybody was like, "This is my godfather said this is that," and that's just Ruben or whatever he called it. Like that's just Ruben. Okay. Anything else before we go into like overhead lines and things?
Um. Okay, this might be a bit. I don't know if they're foreshadowing it, but like, I'm really scared for Yasmin and Sir Henry Mock. I think
Scared in
he's
what
going to be a
sense?
really bad person.
As in sexual assaulting?
Yeah,
I will be surprised if there's nothing sexual that happens between the two of them. That'll be
yeah.
very surprising.
At the
Why are you
very least,
scared?
like he's going to use a power dynamic to make her sleep with him. I think, and that's scaring me
Yeah.
for her because when Robert says that he's never said no to him because he says no is just another step on the way to yes. I'm just like, bro, that's so rapey. That's so rapey.
Um.
And
Yeah,
then
and I
the
guess
way he leans on the wall when he's like, "Oh, we should keep this dialogue going."
the terminology that even Robert and Venetia are using that scene about his BDE and gang
Mm,
reflex and stuff like that. But even when he says to Robert, "Your friend Yasmin is there more to her than
and the
I can't
photos.
remember what yeah, like it didn't seem like it was talking about only her mind or only her
Yeah,
brain.
it's not about her, man.
But
Yeah.
yeah, um,
Anyways, I'm
Yasmin.
excited to see Yasmin handle that, or
When
not.
Harper is giving Yasmin that weird pep talk, we see flashes, which
Yeah,
we've never really entered a character's brain like that
mind
on this
like that.
show.
Yeah, yeah. No wonder
And
it felt strange to me in the
it,
moment. I
it
was like,
was
oh,
strange. It was different. There is a shot there that is basically her father on her
looks like he's strangling her.
or pinning her down.
Yeah,
And I just obviously these are shots we did not see. I think the first one I might have seen was when he was on the bed.
it was his
So
day.
again,
I watched
yeah,
it in slow motion because it went by so fast. I put it on like half speed, and then his dick is
oh
there for a while.
yeah. So I don't know.
This
Again, I
guy's
don't know if
such a
that's
man.
something that if that's something that happened. I want to believe that I want to like this man's a good man. I just want to believe that he didn't cross that line. Um,
To assault his own daughter.
I'm just again. I just said I want to believe that he didn't do it, so
Yeah,
I'm of
yeah.
the opinion that he didn't do it.
I'd be shocked if
Yeah,
I don't think
um,
this is that show. Let me put it that way.
yeah, yeah. But he could probably physically assault Asha.
Yeah, physically, yeah.
That's probably
I see
possible.
that.
Okay, yeah. I think we'll talk more about Henry as the season goes on.
Are you excited to see Kit Harrington on HBO again?
I am. I was thinking about it and I was like, I think I've seen Kit Harington in different things since Game of Thrones, apart from obviously Eternals. But like he was
Sure.
in that one Modern Love episode.
Mm,
Um I remember seeing him on like 7 Days in Hell, but I think that was during Game of Thrones. But I haven't seen him that much, I
yeah,
guess. I don't think he has done that much since Game of Thrones. Um yeah, I'm intrigued to see. Obviously I rewatched season two. I'm God. JD Plus is so good.
he is. He
He's
is.
so good as Leo Blue, but no,
I
sorry,
also
not Leo.
Jesse.
Was Jesse.
Leo is his son. I
Leo
also
was his
really,
son
really miss DVD. I
already.
didn't think I would, but I miss him.
So when literally in Sweet Pea's first scene, I was like, I don't think I'm ready for this. But I think seeing her interact with everybody, she was very annoying though.
I I want Sweet Pea and James Alcaster. I don't know his surname. The investor guy. I
Oh,
want
okay.
Sweet Pea and James in every episode. I enjoy
I
them
think Sweet
so
Pea will
much.
be. I think Sweet Pea will be in every episode.
I need James there too. I enjoy him
I
so
don't.
much.
I feel like James might be a one and done. We'll see, Sha. The electric side
Okay,
is the friends and family investor. Okay.
fair.
Overhead lines. Do you have any?
I mean, I think we'll probably have the same one. Why are you a
Okay.
pituitary gland?
So for anyone who's new to our coverage, we usually, as you may know, there's lots of ADR background conversations happen on this show. So we usually try to pick out some of our best lines that were not like actual dialogue from the show. Mine is what do you have?
Why are you a pituitary gland?
Oh,
Because I make the whole moan.
and that was between Rishi and Anraj. Yeah, I have that as well. The whole
Which
conversation of
There was a direct joke to him that I think was great. When he walks in with the mustache and they say, "Hey, Tom
hmm
Selleck," I
hmm
screamed. I screamed because it's so good. It is so good.
Do you think they told him to grow out his facial hair and then Mickey
Or
and
that
Conrad
gag,
saw no, they saw what he looked at and they're like, we're writing Tom Selleck.
so good.
Did you ever hear how like the Veep writers used to work?
No,
Like they will come to set and tell, okay, just take 5 minutes. They will go back and then they'll come out with like a whole page just insulting a character's facial physical description.
so,
And then you're like, did you
that's
just
so
like get that right
mean.
now? Wow. Because obviously all these jokes will have like different alternates and everything. So yeah, another one between Rishi and Anraj. This is the less funny one because I also had the pituitary gland one. But basically Anraj asks Rishi, how are you finding the countryside? And
Yeah,
then Rishi says, inbreds bickering about their inheritance, what's not to like? How many times do you think Rishi and Sweet Pea have got together?
twice.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I think she's a grad, so she would have just joined
Fair,
if it's
fair.
fall. Yeah,
Or they are still in the flirting stage, maybe. I forgot that she had just joined. But
yeah.
it shall still happen. Um
Rishi, you stupid boy. You know I hate it when married people cheat.
I don't know what to say to you. It's that's what
Guess,
happens in the real.
guess who I am now.
I like I like that for you. Okay, do you have any general thoughts, hopes, fears for the rest of the
So I
season?
asked you this question in like over chat, and now that we've seen episode one, I need to bring it up to you again. Bankole, is industry funnier than the bear?
Why? Why? I still don't know why it's the bear in particular. I mean,
Because the bear is a comedy. Because the bear is a comedy.
that's, I don't think this episode was strong. I don't know if I laughed that much during this episode.
I did. There's a couple jokes. There were a couple
Like
like
what?
apart from the ADR jokes, there's a couple like
Yeah,
direct jokes where like when James is trying to get a hold of Sir Henry Morgan, and he says it's harder to get to than the Nazis
yeah, that
in
was.
Argentina. It's so well constructed because I learned a new word. I've forgotten it, but I learned it. It's so good. There's that. There's the
um,
Tom Selleck joke. They called him the
mhm.
Thomas Edison of
Pedophilia.
nonsense. It's so
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I still think my funniest thing was like she's trying to punish me with my kids, and it's like, your
Man,
kids, yes.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I thought this episode was
Um,
quite funny, and I think I'm
to be
gonna
fair,
ask you every episode
maybe, but this episode
until you say
is the
yes.
darker thing. Is the darker things that stick with me for this episode, like Yasmin's thing, Robert's thing.
Yeah.
That's what sticks with me in this episode. Um, okay, we were gonna. You know what? Next week we'll probably talk a bit about not really talk about, just like kind of like pitch a show that we watched earlier in the summer. Presumed Innocent. If we do that now, we're already like 70 minutes in. So,
Yikes!
but yeah,
Already.
we always want to give you guys more things to watch. So we'll probably do that a bit next week. That's an Apple TV Plus show. But okay, so my own thing about this, and look, like I said, we're all on board with this episode. This is a bit of content trolling. I don't know if I necessarily even believe it, but here we go. This season, like we established, has started off very large and very wide and very big, right? And it feels like even though the three main characters are all sharing a house and everything, they still seem to be living like very disparate lives.
Mm-hmm.
And I think my only thing is that I hope that as the season goes on and inevitably expands, it doesn't like expand to the point of collapse. Like they don't
Mm,
get too big too fast.
mm,
Like I hope that as the season moves on, obviously they will expand because they'll probably travel to some places, they'll do some, but like I hope they remember to like contract and focus on like the main story and relationships.
mm,
Like I think we still want to see Harper and Yasmin share a scene, or Harper and Eric, and you get obviously Harper's role is going to get bigger as the season. That's just inevitable. But I just don't want them to be like to get too big too fast. I'm sure they won't because these guys know what they're doing. But I was just a
I
bit of
don't.
like
That's
I was
fair.
like,
I
yeah,
don't think there's a real danger of that though, because I feel like their
hmm
stories are intertwined already.
hopefully,
I think they're
hopefully,
so like Eric's success is dependent on Lumi and the rest of
Yasmin.
his things.
hmm
Yeah. So, indirectly Robert and Yasmin. And I feel like they're setting up Harper to be in stark contrast to whatever they're trying to achieve. So she's
Fair.
going
She's
to be
gonna
over
be
there on featured on betting against them.
fair.
I think.
Yeah,
I mean that's what it feels like.
anti ESG.
Yeah.
Um. Okay. Yeah, we good. We
We're
locked in.
good. Bruh, I'm so locked in. I think we're back, Banky. I think we're back.
We're back. Well, let's see. Let's see what next week has to offer. Um. This was fun. Yeah. I missed the show. I missed the show. Um. But yeah, Mickey and Corrado are directing this season. So
Ooh.
yeah, the final two episodes.
Ah, big boys. Love that.
Can you imagine? Yeah. Okay, guys. Thank you. Like I said, we'll doing. If you have any questions, because we're recording a bit ahead just because of some personal logistics, so we might not obviously be able to answer your questions in the next episode. So sometimes those questions will be answered on the pre-cap episodes, like I mentioned. That will happen. Those will come out on Fridays. So they're like preview of the previous episode and a review of the past episode and a preview of the next episode. Answer some theories, answer some questions, things like that. But also, we'll also try to answer some other questions that we get in time. Yeah, I think over the next few weeks we're kind of locked in on industry. We'll touch on slow horses as well at some point, but this podcast is kind of locked in on industry right now. Not you and I. Also, don't act like you don't like slow horses. What was
I'm
that
just
face?
wondering when it premieres. I didn't know it was coming back so
Oh,
soon.
September 4th, I think.
Ah, that's actually quite soon.
Yeah, I mean, you know how these guys do. They shoot the previous season before the season, the next season before the previous season
It's
ends,
like wow, it's like a normal show.
like a normal TV show.
It's like it's like TV. It's like television.
Yeah. But yeah, so we'll probably do that. But over the next 8 weeks, we're gonna be fully industry focused. Um, yeah. Please rate and review wherever you're listening. Please subscribe if you're listening on YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube, send us any questions. And those of you who've come from our season 2 coverage 2 years ago, thank you for remembering and staying with us. And yeah, we'll be back to talk more about industry. Any final predictions? Any final thoughts? Is there anything we haven't mentioned in this episode? I think we covered everything,
I
right?
think we did cover everything.
We covered everything. Okay. Yeah. So join us next week when Eyo and I will be joined by Oscar winner Daniel Kaluuya. Bye, guys. Is that what Wakanda Forever said?
It was, yeah.
Why?